All right. Good evening and welcome to the West Orange Board of Education Public Board meeting on Tuesday, January 30th, 2024. I would like to thank all of you here in person and those watching from home for joining us tonight. I'd like to welcome my fellow board members as well as Mr. Moore and Ms. Flowers. Ms. Flowers, would you please take the roll call?
Good evening. Roll call, please. Mr. Ifker?
Here.
Mr. Stevenson?
Here.
Vice President Vera? Here. President Rock?
Here.
Thank you. The notice of meeting. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests are discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, a written notice was sent from the Office of the Secretary of the Board on January 25th, 2024. That said notice was sent by regular mail to the West Orange Township Clerk and the editors of the West Orange Chronicle, and by email to the Star Ledger. That said notice was posted in the lobby of the Administration Building of the Board of Education and posted on the district website. Please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and may be broadcasted on local TV and the district's website at a future date. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you, Ms. Flowers. Next, we will have questions from the public on agenda items only. Any community member who would like to make comments or ask questions, please come to the podium at this time. Please state your name and home address for the record, then begin your comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have any members of the public here in the audience tonight who wish to make a public comment? All right, seeing none, public comment is closed. Next up, the board will move on to nominations to fill the board vacancy. I think Mr. Robert or Mr. Ifker wanted to say a few words first.
Yeah, first of all, I think it's wrong that nobody wished Mr. Stevenson a happy birthday. So I'm going to do it. Happy birthday.
I'll second that.
Second. Okay. I just want to say briefly that some of us had different choices for first choice in terms of candidates. In the end, I think it's going to be unanimous. So even if it's not our first choice that is elected, we're all very supportive of the candidate who we're voting for. And the other thing I would say is that very often in this town and towns around the country, you know, there's one seat open and one person runs, or 2 seats open and 2 people run. There's no real election. And to see a dozen well-qualified candidates come out was so impressive to us. And I just want to remind everybody that this seat, who we elect tonight, is up in November. There are 2 other seats up in November. The year after that, I'm up. I mean, and so there's just so many opportunities to run and to serve. So I hope the enthusiasm that we saw at the last meeting carries through to election time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ifker. The board will now open the floor for nominations to fill the board vacancy. A roll call vote will be conducted on candidates in the order the candidates are nominated. First candidate who receives the votes of a majority of the remaining board members will be elected to the vacancy. In the event no candidate receives a majority vote of the remaining board members, another election process shall be conducted between the 2 candidates receiving the highest numbers of votes. May I have a motion to accept nominations to fill the vacant seat on the board?
Motion.
Thank you, Mr. Ifker. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. Ms. Flowers, please take the roll call.
Mr. Ifker?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson?
Yes.
Vice President Vera? Yes. President Rock?
Yes. All right. Are there any nominations?
Mr. President, I proudly recommend and nominate Dr. Dia Bryant for appointment to the West Orange Board of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. Are there any other nominations? Seeing none. Nominations are closed, and we have Ms. Dia Bryant nominated by Mr. Stevenson. Ms. Flowers, would you please take a roll call for Dr. Dia Bryant to serve on the Board of Education?
Mr. Ifker?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson,
Yes.
Vice President Vera,
Yes.
President Rock.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I'd just like to echo something Mr. Ivker said, right? There were a lot of wonderful qualified candidates that participated in this process. It was refreshing as a former civics and social studies teacher to see so many people that were interested in being civically involved. I hope everyone that took part in this will continue to be involved. And I don't think anybody should take our choice of one person to mean that we didn't like or support other people. Again, there were many qualified candidates, but Dr. Dia Bryant was the one that became a consensus choice that we think will be the right person for the right moment for West Orange. So thank you all. Next, we have a walk-on resolution as a result of a HIB hearing presented to the board in executive session on January 22nd, 2024. May I have a motion to approve the HIB resolution A1?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Stevenson. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ipker. Any comments? Hearing none. Ms. Flowers, please take the roll call.
Mr. Ivker,
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson,
Yes.
Vice President Vera,
Yes.
President Rock.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much to all of my board colleagues. Next up, we have petitions and hearings of citizens for any agenda or non-agenda items that you wish to discuss. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Please approach the podium at this time and state your name and address for the record. All right. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Thank you very much. Our next board meeting will be held at 6:30 p.m. on February 26, 2024. This meeting will be held in the West Orange High School Library Media Center. We will not be going into executive session after the close of this meeting. There will be no further business discussed and no additional action will be taken. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Thank you, Mr. Ivker. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Vera. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Our meeting is now adjourned. We wish you a good night.